Street. Now, you've said that you want to leave on the 31st of October, do or die. You've also said that you want to deal.
I don't mean literally that we're going to die, Sophie.
Well, that's reassuring, at least.
Leave. I think that what we will face is a political extinction, and we will, and literally, I think there will be we will have a drift away from not just the Conservative Party, but from both the main parties.
So will the Conservative Party be toast?
Yeah, I think it will suffer very considerably from an electorate that feels that they can't trust politicians to deliver on their promises.
How far would you be willing to go then to ensure that we do leave? I mean, would you be prepared to ignore MPs if they try and block the UK leaving?
Well, this is the sort of
proroguing Parliament.
This is the other old proroguing question.
Well, it's important, isn't it? It's really, really important.
Yes, but
we're talking about suspending Parliament to push something through.
Yes, I mean, I think what's much more important is that MPs understand the gravity of the situation and behave with responsibility and recognise that the only way to restore trust and confidence in politics is to get this thing done.
So you won't rule it out?
I don't like the idea of proroguing. I'm not remotely attracted to it, but MPs have got to understand that it's their responsibility to get this thing done, and that was by far the best solution. I don't want to prorogue Parliament, nor do I expect to. I don't think that's going to be necessary, and I think it's far more important that MPs focus on where we are, because politics has changed since March the 29th, and people can see that unless we get Brexit done, there is going to be a continuing hemorrhage of trust and of confidence in my party and Labour as well. I mean, Labour, with spectacular incompetence, managed to go backwards in the council elections as well.
Yeah, we're talking about the reality of how we're going to get Brexit done. And you and I both know that if you are so certain to leave at the end of October, then there is a chance that is considerably less than 1,000,000 to 1 that we will leave with no deal. I just want to have a look at 3 quotes that EU leaders have said just in the last month alone. Jean-Claude Juncker: there will be no renegotiations as far as the content of the withdrawal agreement is concerned. Leo Varadkar: there is no withdrawal agreement without a backstop. Angela Merkel: the exit agreement has been finalised. This is before it was reported that you referred to French people as turds. So I can't imagine the situation's improved greatly in the last 24 hours or so. So if you are saying that you're not willing to extend and they're not willing to negotiate, then we're going to be leaving with no deal if you're Prime Minister.
Well, actually, I think that our European friends and partners can see very clearly what the answer is. And
it doesn't sound like it from what they're saying.
I don't think that they are going to want a disorderly Brexit of any kind, and it's not in their interest. There's no reason why they should want the sudden imposition of tariffs and quotas.
So you're just ignoring what they're saying?
No, I think that possibly it's the case that they would say that at this particular stage in the negotiations. You'd expect them to say that kind of thing. We're going to work very hard to show our earnestness, our sincerity. What we want to do is to take the elements of the current withdrawal agreement, and it really doesn't work at all. It's a defunct agreement, but there are some good bits. I like the bit about citizens. We should pass that through. The money, the 39 billion, I would suspend that in creative ambiguity. Wait till we get a deal, and then solve the problems of the Northern Irish border and all other borders, by the way.
They have literally said in those quotes I've read out that is not going to happen.
Well, let's see.
Let's be upfront about what no deal could mean. It would mean tariffs, wouldn't it? What would the tariffs be on cars if we left with no deal?
Well, we don't. That is not the objective I want. That is not the objective I seek. And it would be, I think,
10%.
very, 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 very strange if the EU were to go for a solution in which their vehicles coming to the UK, in huge numbers, by the way, face tariffs. Now, there are some people, like Mervyn King, the former governor of the Bank of England, who thinks that that would be very good, and that we'd rake in 35 billion euros in tariffs, because after all, the EU has a colossal surplus with us in goods. I don't want that at all. I think that's not the way to go. It doesn't make any sense. The way forward, Sophie, is to have a standstill in the current arrangements.
Which you need the EU to agree with.
You do. But for the reasons I've just given, I think they have a powerful incentive to get it done. And I go further, and say that actually, when you consider they have now, since March the 29th, they have a large contingent of Eurosceptic British MEPs in Strasbourg, a continual thorn in their side. They are going to want to get this thing over the line.
A year ago, when you were asked about businesses' concerns about a no-deal Brexit, you reportedly said, business.
That was not the context of the conversation.
Did you say those words?
That was not the context of the conversation. And my words have been totally taken out of context.
Okay, go on, tell us the context then.
I'll tell you. I was being told that there was absolutely no way that the UK could leave the single market and the customs union, and that we would have to stay run by the EU. And I don't think that is the case. And I think actually, if you look at my record as somebody who has campaigned for business, who has stuck up for business through thick and thin, I don't think there's a politician like it. I can't think of anybody in my party or any party that has stuck up for financial services in London during some very difficult times. And indeed, I can't think of anybody who's gone around the world championing UK businesses, driving home the message about this or that contract, and genuinely acting as an ambassador and evangelist for UK business. And that is what I will be if I'm lucky enough to be elected.
Now,